Alright, so we're set up in the darkroom. What I'm going to do is on my clock, I'm going to set the clock to focus on the left switch. I'm going to flip it to the right so that it's on focus. And I'm going to turn it on the button on the right. Now, what you guys can see is I have my image, but it's a lot larger than the easel. Okay, so what I want to do is what I talked about before is I want to try and get this image down. And so first I want to unlock it. I want to bring the easel down, and like I showed you guys, it's going to go out of focus, and I might have to move the easel around. I'm just trying to get the size right now, and then I'll go back in and focus it. Okay. If your enlarger shoots back up, you might want to just tighten it down, and then I'm going to focus. Okay. Now, one thing you guys will see is I have a white border around my photo. Now, what that is going to do is it's going to leave a black line around my photo. Some people like that as part of their photo. Some people like to crop it out. And so just like in Photoshop, we have the crop tool. That's where a lot of the Photoshop terms come from. They come from the darkroom. And so if I want to crop out that black edge, which is white in the darkroom, I need to bring my image up larger and have it go past the black border, or the edge of my easel. Okay, and then a lot of times once I've got it the right size, remember to lock it back in place, and then you want to mess with the focus. And so I would take it out of focus and then bring it back, and you might have to kind of bend down to look at it and just make sure that it's in focus. And so you can go past it and then bring it back and make sure. Okay, and so I'm still kind of getting that white edge, so I might have to even raise it up a little bit more. Lock it in and then focus my image. Okay, now if your negative's out of focus, then it's hard to, you won't be able to ever get it in focus. But once I have this down, then I can place my film grain enlarger right on top and look through it, and then have my hand on the focus and kind of dial in whether it's focused or not. And you should see the grain of the film on your negative, and it'll go out of focus and look like little dots, and then once it looks like grains of sand, that means it's in focus. And you might not want to put your eye right on it. You can kind of step back from it and see it. Okay, now the other thing to look for is that you put the film in the right way. And so you know, a lot of times you might not think this is important, but if you have words or text or a person's face and you flip it, then that's not the way that person looks. And so it's important that you get it right. And so you might have to take your negative back out and see. And so like I was saying before, there's an aperture ring underneath here, and if I go like this, you guys can see it gets a lot darker. If I go the opposite way, it gets a lot brighter. Okay, and so we kind of want to be in the middle, and so usually I'll go, it also depends on your negative. And so for this one I got pretty good contrast, and so I want to go somewhere in the middle. Okay, because that's also going to affect our time and our test strip. All right, so yes, just like the contact sheet that we did, we're going to do a test strip with this. And so we don't want to waste a whole thing of paper. We want to use a test strip. And so and like I said before, there is this filter right here. If I slide this filter over, I'm going to show you guys that it makes my image red, and that way I don't mess up my paper. Okay, and so another important part of this is that we remember that We don't want to leave any paper sitting out right here when we're doing this. We always want to keep it in the drawer, and that way it's not being exposed. Okay?